Coming up on this episode of Don't Panic, we've got the week's tech news for you, including the end of AIM, shed a tear. We also talk about the up price in Netflix and the down price in Hulu, and new hardware from Google. Will you buy it? Probably not. But we're going to talk about it anyway. Stick around. Don't Panic comes up now. This is Don't Panic, episode number 178, recorded October 9th, 2017. Ready, aim, fired. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on gadgets, the internet, and you. I'm Sean Jennings, there, Colby Rabendu, and Dan Miller, and we're here to talk about the tech news, but also some other random shit we're going to talk about for the next 20 or so minutes. So, guys, what's going on? What's the good word out there? What's going down in Don't Panic Town?
Today was a holiday that I didn't have off.
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yep. I was 10 minutes late to work because I got stuck on the other side of some sort of like 5K or something. I didn't know that was happening. I was getting dressed in the morning. I was looking out the window and like the cops were setting up barricades on the road outside. I was like, what is happening? Turns out there was some sort of foot race. So I cheered them on a little as I walked to work. Finally, I found eventually it like petered off enough that I could cross the street.
I like to imagine, again, in my active imagination, I like to imagine Colby like comes across this 5K, but it's like on his way to work, and so he kind of just walks alongside and then accidentally wins the 5K walking to work. It'll be like they're like handing him a trophy. He's like, "What are you doing?" "I'm just going to work." And they're like, "No, dude, you just won a 5K." They're like, "Wow, okay, cool." And you just show up to work with your trophy. Only in Colby's land.
It's the dream. I don't think I could ever accidentally or on purpose win a foot race. I don't think that's within my skill.
You gotta believe in yourself.
Depends who you're racing against.
Fair enough.
Depends on the context.
Did you guys see the quote unquote viral video going around of the tortoise and the hare race?
Yes, I did.
No, it was somewhere in Asia. I didn't get a Japan, Korea type thing. And I don't know the context at all, but they literally had two lanes set up, and they put a rabbit in one and an actual tortoise in the other. And unsurprisingly, spoiler alert, the rabbit jumps like halfway, stops, and then the tortoise goes by and actually wins the race.
Oh, I did see that.
It was quite a thrill.
Was it a setup, or did that really happen?
You know, damn fake news. You can't trust anything on the internet anymore.
Was it like Pizza Rat?
I choose to believe it's real.
Pizza Rat.
I choose to believe it's real.
Do you guys listen to that episode of Reply All like I told you to?
I didn't. I did start from the beginning of the Adventure Zone. That's my new thing. I'm going back. I'm starting from the beginning. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I started from the beginning of that too. I'm going very slowly. See, here's my problem is I'm listening to like 3 different podcasts from the beginning now at this point. and that's in between all the other podcasts that I'm listening to. So, and I unfortunately I don't have as many podcasting hours as Colby does, so it's slow going.
That's fair. I actually almost finished my podcast queue this week, which hasn't happened in ages. I was home this weekend, so I spent a bunch of time just like chilling out, listening to podcasts on my own.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it was delightful.
I think my podcast listening has easily tripled to quadruple, and a giant part of that is AirPods. I just wear them all the time everywhere. When I'm cooking and when I'm just doing stuff around the house and doing laundry, and they're just, when I'm going to bed at night, I use them all the time.
Oh, speaking of AirPods, my headphones broke finally. My wired headphones that I've had for 2 years. And I didn't get AirPods, but I got the Beats X ones.
Yeah.
That have the W1 chip. And I think I like them. Now, the reviews said it's great for connecting, but the sound is just okay. And I was like, I'm not going to notice that. These are earbuds. But it turns out, I'm pretty sure I noticed that the sound is worse than my Bose earbuds were.
Oh,
but they're cool other than that. I wouldn't have thought that was a thing that I would pick up on. But it's like, it's like it's always not loud enough. Like I can never hear the things I want to hear in my music, and turning the volume up does not help, which is weird. I don't know how to describe it any.
Well, it sounds like it's not balanced. Like there are probably certain frequency ranges that you can't hear as well as you're used to being able to hear.
It is totally fine for podcasts though.
Right.
I notice it more with music, but it's cool. They're like neck buds, which is super nerdy. So you can just hang them around your neck, and they have little magnets in the earbuds, and they clip together. But I got them, and then I got on the T to go to work, and I was like, well, I could open these here. I was like, I probably shouldn't open them here. Like, I'm not going to try and like Bluetooth connect something while I'm on the train. But then I did it anyways, and it was super easy. So that was cool.
I don't have any noise canceling headphones anymore, and I think I said this on the show. I don't want to buy another pair of headphones that doesn't have the W1 chip.
Yep.
But the Beats noise canceling headphones that are going to have the W1 chip aren't out yet, A, which is kind of a bummer, and B, might sound terrible. But I suffer the same problem, Colby, where I'm like, well, it might be worth it.
Sheer convenience.
Does sound terrible, yeah.
It is like pretty game change. Like as a person who wears a messenger bag many days to go to work, not having a headphone cord to like undo to take off the bag is pretty.
I was telling someone this recently. Like the biggest thing in New York is I don't get caught on people's backpacks when I'm packed into a subway. That would happen like once every 3 months before. You're getting out of the subway, people with these like crazy army backpacks, and your stupid thing gets caught on it, and he yanks it out of your ears, and then the door closes on the cords of your headphones, and it's not a good time. Not possible.
That used to happen to me all the time mowing the lawn. It would always get caught in the mower or in bushes or in
the mower?
No. You know they have like the safety handle when it's a
Sean
push
got
mower.
Sucked into the mower.
Yeah, shouldn't have put my head so close to the blade. What was I thinking? Yeah, Sean, take a look just up into there. Make sure it's still spinning. Yeah, no, really, they saved my life. Thank you, AirPods. Good news.
That could be your safety tip next week.
Safety tip, yes. Hey, everyone, I'd like to open this meeting with a safety contact. Don't wear wired headphones when looking under a spinning rotor blade of a lawnmower, because they're going to get tangled.
A helicopter, lawnmower.
Really, any spinning blade.
Food disposal unit, yeah.
A sharp desk fan, either way, whatever. Just no wires. They're going to get tangled. You're going to hurt yourself. The cords of your hoodies, whatever. It doesn't matter.
They outlawed those sharp desk fans along the same time they outlawed the
metal lawn darts?
The darts, the lawn darts.
Those are awesome. Have you ever played with the illegal metal lawn darts?
I don't think so.
Oh, I won't say who has a set. I don't want them to get arrested. But I know someone who has a set, and oh man, they're way better than the plastic ones, and it is a fun yard game. But I can also see how many people would get impaled. They are sharp and heavy.
I hope that when the FBI comes for Sean to like interrogate him to find out who has lawn darts, it'll be while we're live on Don't Panic.
Just the window behind
they're
me.
One of our 11 new listeners this week.
Yeah.
Yes. The FBI's always no.
Are those IPs from Quantico?
Yes, we'll have to backtrack those, and that's all right. They can come and get me. Come and get me. Bring it on. Speaking of that, of our listeners, I want to remind everyone we're live on Facebook right now, facebook.com/don'tpanicshow, where we are Monday nights, sometime after 10 p.m. But we have a new feature, guys. Whoa, what? I know, this is very exciting.
You?
In our ongoing commitment to increasing customer satisfaction here on the Don't Panic Show, we have a new feature where people who comment on Facebook Live during the show will see their comments on screen on the video. Not only live, but also on the permanent recorded version. So,
that's cool.
So let me I've got
Bringing a little twist to this outfit here.
Absolutely. It was a new feature thanks to the folks at XSplit, which is the software that we use to put the show together. They added that little upgrade, so we're going to try it out. So go ahead and comment, and then we'll see it right on the screen. It'll be very exciting.
Now,
of course, now that I say
this
that, no
like
one will
that
comment. But
I was gonna say, is this like that Twitter thing Marist had, where like people used it for no good?
no, I trust our fans, and I don't have to show it. So be warned. I will be.
Don't know anyone who did that to the Marist website. We are not.
No, we're professional.
Friends with, or
Associated
in communication with any of
Oh,
those people
God.
at the time,
We
or
are
since.
Go Red Foxes. We wouldn't dare do that. We're good people.
Wouldn't dare besmirch the good name.
No,
of
they-
Marist.
They do that just fine on their own. They don't need our help. But anyway, we should continue on. Any other side chatter, gentlemen, before we hop into the news?
Side chatter.
Nope.
I don't think so.
Nope. We got a definitive nope. All right, well, we're going to do the part of the show where we talk about the week's tech news. We've got a bunch of headlines here in our doc from the past week. We got a lot of stuff, guys. We got new hardware from Google. We've got Netflix price changes, the end of AIM, Windows Phone being dead, Edge browser on iOS and Android. I don't know what's tickling your fancy here.
Let's talk about that new Google hardware.
Aw, damn. Get excited, because Google announced a bunch of new stuff at an event this week.
I was actually mildly excited.
Oh, boy. Well, let's turn that mild excitement into moderate excitement with some Pixel news. We've got the Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL. These are their flagship phones. Some quick stats on those. Use the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835, which is the fastest they make, 4 gigabytes of RAM. So they're going to be pretty quick. 12.2 megapixel rear cameras with autofocus with laser and dual pixel phase detection, which are real things. An optical and electronic image stabilization. I saw
Autofocus with laser?
it just says with laser. Maybe.
Set phasers
That's
to
cool.
stun?
Yeah, and dual pixel phase detection. They're making this shit up. I did see a tweet from one of the organizations that rates phone cameras, and they said they believe that this is the best camera. Not only they'll see this year, but they think through all of next year this will be the best camera they see. So their early indications are very positive. Both phones use USB-C but don't offer wireless charging. No headphone jack, but they do have Bluetooth 5.0. Obviously, the Pixel 2 XL is larger. It's got a bigger battery and a 6-inch screen, OLED. Pixel 2 has a 5-inch screen with OLED as well. They come in 3 colors, as Google describes them: kind of blue, just black, or clearly white. The phones can be pre-ordered today.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, what are they gonna do? Starting at
Call it
$649.
blue, black, and white.
No,
That's
they
what
got to
you're
be cutesy about. Well, Apple's got their space gray and their rose gold.
Things that work for Apple don't work for everyone else.
No, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, it's not terribly clear. that
Kind
that's
of
what
blue?
Kind.
Well,
No,
that only
it's
works
not blue,
if it's
Dan.
a Miles Davis reference.
It's not blue. It's kind of blue.
If it's a Miles Davis reference, then I'll give it to him, but I very much doubt that it is. So
Nope.
It could be.
it could be, but the other one isn't a music reference, right?
Clear. What was
Clearly
it?
white.
Clearly white. Just
What was
black.
Just Black. The Black Album, see, that there were some opportunities there that they didn't take.
They blew it.
Alas. They blew it?
Ha ha ha! Get it? They blew it.
So there you go. That's what I got on the Pixels. I got nothing more.
You didn't talk about the AirPods for Google.
Oh, well, we can more hardware. Pixel Buds. Hey guys, it's your Pixel Buds.
Hey,
Hey.
remember that friend? Your Pixel Bud?
Will you be my Pixel Bud? Pixel Buds for life. They are wireless headphones they're really just earbuds, but they got a little cable connected them. They'll cost you $159. They come in 3 colors: black, white, and blue.
There you go.
No, they didn't go there. Let's see. They got some cool features. They got gesture controls, so you can swipe or touch to do stuff. Touching the right earbud will activate the built-in Google Assistant. They should last for 5 hours on a single charge. They have a matching charging case that can power them multiple times with built-in battery, and should provide up to 24 hours of listening time when you include what's in the case, charging through the USB-C port. Also, any phone running Android Marshmallow or higher can pair them just by opening the case, very similar to how AirPods work with a feature they call Fast Pair. As Dan mentioned, they do have some cool features. They will be able to activate Google Translate to get real-time translations of conversations. You talk into the earbuds, and the phone speakers will translate into a desired language or vice versa. It works with 40 languages.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That's, if you couldn't guess, that's what I was excited about.
Although I will say, and I know this isn't true and this is a joke, but it says people can talk into the earbuds. I kind of like to imagine like you have to get right up to their ear and be like, yo soy es muy guapo. I don't know what that was, but
my name is very handsome.
Okay. True.
No, I guess I am very handsome. So
Thank you, Dan. That's a very nice compliment.
That's like sort of
I was
sensible.
complimenting myself. Yeah, so if this actually works, I think that's pretty cool. And I think there are a couple stories about this when the AirPods came out, like how the AirPods is Apple's next foray into the field of wearable technology. And I didn't really know what that meant, but this makes it really obvious. Imagine having something like this on your face, and it could have apps, and that sounds dumb, but apps like this make a lot of sense. You could have it turn on to some sort of like ambient music mode and put like Shazam in it, and it could be telling you once it detects what a song is, like, oh, this song is that. Because oftentimes I've been at some like show for a band I'm not familiar with, and I'm like, man, they're clearly talking to the people in the audience who have listened to all these albums a billion times, and I have no idea what's going on. That'd be really cool. So, yeah, I'm all on board with that. I think that's great. If it works, I would wish that it worked on iOS and be sad about it. Sean's not so sure.
I like the theory. I think this particular implementation is a little, I don't want to say gimmicky because I haven't seen it actually work in reality, but you're still. I don't see how this is that much different from you just pulling out your phone and doing it now, which you can do with Google stuff on Android devices. And I get that it's but you still have to pull out your phone to translate it.
What do you mean you still have to pull out your phone to
According to this
translate it?
article, people can talk into the earbuds, and the phone speaker will translate into the desired language or vice versa.
Oh, it can't just tell you things in your ear that people are saying?
Not according to this article. I'll Google some more, but
I thought that's what it did. I'm disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, still, I think that this is going in that direction, and that's still exciting. I don't need to be able to use it to speak to someone else, but if I could be walking around like a foreign country and be able to ambiently hear, parts of what people are saying around me in English, that'd be really dope. Or especially for like ordering in restaurants and things like that.
Totally. I love the theory, and I wish devices did that. I just don't know if this is that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, one step closer, maybe.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they do it, but I'm glad, it is interesting that we all many people gave Apple flack for getting rid of the headphone jack, but Google has gone ahead and done it with their flagship phone.
They blazed the trail.
They did, and now it's a lot more common.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though, even if Google did it first, it's not like it would have been a big story, right? So
yeah,
I don't know if that necessarily means anything, but I did delight in telling my Android friends, like, I remember, we probably talked about on this show, like, guaranteed, sometime in the next couple of years, all of the new phones being sold will not have a headphone jack, and I still think I'm right about that.
It's probably true.
Agreed on that. Let's see what else they had. They had some other stuff. How about Google Clips? You guys excited about Google Clips? It's Kobe's like,
Amazon has a
no.
camera in your personal space. We want to have a camera in your personal space too.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have things to say, but explain what this is.
I'll do my best. Google Clips is a camera that you strap to yourself and you wear it all over the place, or at least that's the idea. But it doesn't just shoot photos of everything you do. It uses AI and machine learning to recognize moments to take the best photos. They look for things like people's faces or animals or certain scenes. Let me see if I can get a better. You turn it on by twisting the lens, then you set it down and forget about it. The Clips then watches everything it sees in a 130-degree field of view and records little 7-second moving images of stuff it finds interesting. It learns faces over time and tries to take more photos of those people and fewer photos of strangers. It can also recognize pets. It does not have a viewfinder, and it's recommended that you can clip it or stick it to stuff with a little suction cup. And then later you can open an app on your phone and scroll through the little videos it recorded, although there's no microphone, so there's no audio with those. And then you can either save or delete them from the app. There is a shutter button on the front, so you can, you don't always have to use it in an automatic function.
Do you remember the name of the startup that made this exact product, and it took like pictures throughout the day, and then it would generate these little, montages?
No, but I do know exactly what. I do remember that. I do totally remember
A little
that.
square camera thing that you wore on your necklace or something.
Yep. And it got blasted. Everyone hated it, rightly so. I think no one wants to be seen wearing this. The technology has to be invisible.
But
AirPods makes it invisible. Like these smartwatches make it invisible. All the glasses and this stuff. That's why there will never be. I don't want to say never. It's so there. When Apple puts a camera on the Apple Watch is so far in the future, because under what circumstances is it not going to look glaringly obvious and stupid when you don't need a lens to take a photo, or the lens is the screen? That's the only circumstance. So I think it's so far away, and I think the fact that you wear this thing and it just looks like you have a giant eye on you, or if you're hanging it off of, you can also attach this to other things though, right?
yeah,
They have videos of it clipped on to
totally.
a baby crib or something.
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense. But a baby crib I think is a specific example. But then why not get a GoPro? Right? So yeah,
because it doesn't record indefinitely. It only records.
And it doesn't recognize the people that are in your life and start to take pictures of only them. But yeah. This is another one of those, in my mind, Google, it's weird worldview. And I think Amazon suffers from this a little bit, but less, where, yeah, people totally want to just have a computer in their house taking random pictures of people who are in their house or people who are around them. It's even if I did want that, I know that no one else wants that.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get it. I don't want it.
They're trying to solve a problem nobody has. That's what it is, point blank. I mean, look, we all have really.
Well, I think that here's something I do find. I do find throughout my life that there are times when I'm like, man, I wish I had a photo or a video of that, but I just couldn't. My phone was in my pocket, or I didn't have my phone, or it was in the other room, and that I understand. But I don't think the solution is to have something that's always taking and storing photos. I think the solution is to have something that's always taking photos, and then you get to decide, hey, that thing that happened, I want to rewind the past hour and find what I saw. That I'm all in on. But I don't want those things zipping up so that we're all getting recorded by everyone's eye cameras or whatever we're going to call those things.
Oh God, we're going to get a bit philosophical here for a second. But, Dan,
Yeah.
Maybe the solution is that it's just okay that there's some moments of our lives that aren't recorded.
I think that is okay. But wouldn't you like to close the gap? I don't think it should be 100% closed.
No, I like that there's a gap. Maybe I'm just old fat. You'll see in my pick this week, I've been rewatching Mad Men. And it kind of makes me a bit nostalgic for an era I'm not from. But I will say that, I just think
that is sort of the design of those shows.
I really think the technology exists today to capture 85% of life's moments. I mean, really, you get a GoPro, you can shoot anything. Your phone's got everything's got cameras in it these days. We friggin' have 200 zillion hours of this show. I mean, we record everything in life. That I just don't know who wants a device that records everything. Even if you're right, Dan, even if it is, I just want instant replay on my life and don't keep any of it. I just want instant replay for the last 12 hours in case something happens I want to save. Even that, it's like I don't know if there's a market for that.
I think there's totally a market for it. I agree with you that it's something that is not necessarily good. Look at Snapchat. I'm finally getting back into Snapchat.
Oh boy!
I guess I've finally been
the world
getting into
is thanking you.
Oh boy!
And God, people take so many pictures. I remember when Twitter came out and people were lamenting like, "Oh, I was tweeting about what he had for breakfast today," and look, took an Instagram photo of what they had for dinner. Snapchat's 100 times worse. It proves that trend line proves that there's a hunger for this sort of stuff.
Yeah, but it's not it's. But
I agree
I don't like it.
Good.
But I don't like it.
It's a market for it.
It's bad. But also,
go.
Snapchat is a free app on the phone you already have, and you're not spending $140 to use it. How many people bought those Snap goggles there?
Are they still selling them?
Actually, they claim
are.
they claim that you can go on Amazon, you can get a pair now. I think they claim they sold like 100,000 of them or something. Someone bought them, but I'm just saying,
I gotta be on the lookout.
That's
for this.
you're talking about a whole nother level of. And by the way, I did Snapchat my dinner tonight. Suck it.
Do you snap it to me?
It was part of the story. See, but this is how I use Snapchat. Where if it's not, if it's that lame bullshit, I don't send it to people because I respect their time. Like if you have free time, go check out my story and see the great shrimp and zucchini risotto I made for dinner.
That's a good.
That's my policy.
Have either of you watched the relevant episode of Black Mirror on this topic?
Revenant? No. Black Mirror. In a post 2017 world, I don't have space for Black Mirror.
Sad.
Yeah, it's all I can do to watch this World War II Ken Burns documentary, and that's more out of morbid fascination than anything else.
Black Mirror used to make me feel like
if I didn't know how this documentary ended, man, would I be stressed out.
Yeah. I was gonna say Black Mirror used to make me feel how like reading the New York Times makes me feel now.
Exactly.
No longer necessary.
Nope. I did want to jump in before we forget. We got some Facebook comments here from our good friend, my friend and yours, Zachary Friss on Facebook. Who always likes to comment on the show. He's got a couple comments. The problem is they're not really fast enough, so we're backtracking a little bit. He said, the Pixel 2 has passive Shazam that will tell you what songs are playing. So there you go, Dan. It'll apparently do that for you. He mentioned.
What do you mean by passive? Like, you could open up your phone and it'll say like, "Hey, the last song 5 minutes ago is this, and the current song is that."
I don't. Zach, you can call into the phone number and let us know. I don't have. None of us have Android phones, so we don't know for sure. 508-644-TECH is the number. He also mentions that the phone part translates what you are saying to the person not wearing the headphones. So that's kind of why you need the headphones. Aren't the be-all end-all solution. If it's a conversation, there needs to be a speaker element. So.
From experience, when you're in a foreign country, you're going to spend a lot more time listening than you are talking. So if the headphones could just do the translation part, I don't need it to do the translation in the other direction.
Fair enough.
If that's what I'm going to do, yeah, I'll take the phone out. It's going to be quite the process.
And lastly, you mentioned, I think they killed the headphone jack because now they have some decent wireless headphones like Apple did before then. It just didn't make sense, and I think that's a very fair point. I think you don't want to do that until you have a good pair of wireless buds to go with it.
That's my favorite part of Apple is that thing. Like, they were like, what would be great is if we could get rid of the headphone jack and just use wireless headphones, but all the headphones suck. We'll just make our own wireless headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, hopefully, with the wireless charger, but we'll see.
Well, you know what? Before we move on to some more Google hardware, I think Zach, who has been an A-plus fan of the show for quite some time, I think he's earned a free tote bag. What do you guys say?
Aha!
Let's give him.
That's true.
Let's give him a tote bag. I think he's a great... Zach, send us an email with your mailing address, don'tpanicshow@gmail.com, and we'll mail you out a Don't Panic tote bag. Actually, I have one, an Up for Debate tote bag that's going out in the mail to an Up for Debate super fan, Michael Johnson, because I promised I'd send him one, because he's the only one who listens to that show, and he's getting tote bags. So we got tote bags. We're giving them away. So send us an email, Zach. Thanks for joining us this evening. Let's see. We've still got more Google hardware. Now we're into the Google Home part of the show. Everyone, I hope most people are familiar with the little Google Home. It's like their Alexa pod. See, of course, I just activated mine by saying that. But they have two new versions. They've got the mini version, smaller, comes in 3 colors. We got more color names: chalk, charcoal, and coral.
Okay, that's fine. Those are actual...
Are those acceptable,
like,
Dan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one
Those
is
are
coral?
The red one. Pink.
Is coral typically pink?
I'm not... That's a good question. I would like to know the answer to that.
I didn't know there was a coral color. So confused.
Now, it
Whatever.
is, it's smaller.
They look cool.
Yeah, 4-inch diameter and a height of over 1.5 inches. They'll cost $49 and be available October 19th in major retailers. As far as I understand it, they do, unlike some of the smaller Echo devices, this does have the speaker built in. I want to double check that that's correct, though. I believe it does. I mean, it's not going to sound super awesome, but it will.
Have you ever hooked up any of your Alexa to an external speaker?
Yes, so I have one here at the desk, and it is the Dot, the smaller one, which does not have a speaker, so it's plugged into my computer speakers, and it works fine.
And that works great?
Yeah, it works fine. The good thing about the Google one is it will connect with Chromecast audio-enabled speakers wirelessly automatically, and then you start getting whole home audio stuff, and you start getting some fancier things going down.
Be cool.
The Home Mini does not have a 3.5 millimeter jack. So you cannot plug it into traditional speakers. It's either the built-in speaker or a Chromecast speaker. On top of that, they also announced so we got the Mini, now we got the Google Home Max, which is a full stereo speaker with 2 4.5-inch woofers, 20 times more powerful than the original Google Home. It comes in black or white, costs $400, and is available in December.
That's their HomePod competitor. Remember HomePods?
Basically, are they ever going to sell those?
No one talks about those anymore.
Yeah, I actually did forget about that. Shit. Huh.
Supposedly.
Neat. Well,
Yep.
you can get your Google Home Max instead. They'll be available in December.
Excellent.
So get excited for that. I would actually really... That's the one thing that super bums me out about my Echo devices, and I know Google Home is really good about, is answering just questions about stuff, like Google search type questions. And Alexa's... Because you're like, Alexa, what year was Albert Einstein born in? And she's like, I have no idea. And it's like, these are not hard questions, and I know Google Home would do better. That's the one thing that really bums me out about the Echo stuff. The rest of it's very good.
Yeah, in my experience, you don't get the same amount of integrations with Google Home.
Well, that's
though.
the downside.
Yeah, maybe that should. There are some. Like, you can get the big ones that you would expect, the light bulbs and the automatic and stuff like that. But
Yep. No.
Nest, obviously. Do you know, can you integrate Nest with Alexa, or is that a Google Home only thing? Okay.
No, they're pretty open. They're in with most systems. Most of the big guys are these days. Actually, I don't know how many are specific to one or the other. I know Google's been trying to be more integrated and add some of the stuff, but Amazon always seems one step ahead. So take that for what you will.
As usual.
Let's see. We're running out of hardware here. The new Pixel Book. Have you guys ever said, I would like an internet browser that costs $1,000? Good news is Google's built it for you. It's a Pixel Book. It runs. From
what I have seen, the Pixel Book hardware. What was it called before? Has it always been called the Pixel Book?
I think so. It has been for a while, I think.
Okay, the hardware has always been really good, and the nerds will install Linux on it through this like other hack. And then you have a full computer.
Oh, install Linux! Wow.
I know. He says from the Windows computer. By the way, I should have put this in the pre-show banter. Windows 10 is fine. Pretty much there is always a way to do things the way I expected it to be able to be done. There's like the old control panel still there. I forget how you get to it, but you can get to it. Here's the one thing that's really bugged me from desktop. If you have a window and you want to make it bigger, but not entirely, not the whole screen, and you don't want to do the left-right thing, my mind is trained to drag, get to the upper right-hand corner, get the little diagonal arrow, and shloop it to a bigger size.
Yeah.
You have to have pixel perfect accuracy to do that, because the X is this rectangle right next to it that is like border to border. It looks like it's 1 or 2 pixels. Is the borders only that big? Honestly, actually, no. The borders on these windows are so small. The tolerances are so fine. It's so difficult to click on one of these windows and change the size of it.
The problem is you're going to the top of the window. Go to the bottom of the window.
No, it's the same. You have
it's
to be.
Not.
Yeah, you
Are
do.
they that massive in Mac?
I'm going to take a video of this.
When I'm using my Mac at work tomorrow, I'm going to see how massive the tolerances are on adjusting window sizes.
But it's the...
I'm doing it right now. Oh my god, it's so easy. You are, oh my Lord. Dan.
No. But
you're such an old man.
You have to agree with me on the upper right-hand corner. It's like impossible. Because if you're
but that's
one
where the
pixel
X's
up,
are. Why would you, of the 4 corners, that's the one corner that has shit in it.
Make the X target smaller so that there's a little bit of a gap.
No, just
look
use
at
any of
on
the
your
other
back.
corners.
Look, there's so much space between the X and the minus and the expandy.
But the X is so tiny. How can you accidentally press the X if it's so small?
Oh my god.
Yes.
Go back. Windows doesn't want you, Dan.
Thing.
Go back to Mac. You're uninvited. Go home. Go home. You're drunk. Get out of here. Have you experienced the now 2 control centers that Windows 10 has?
Probably.
Oh, because there's the old control center, but then they also added settings, which duplicates some of the settings, and some are in one, but not in the other.
Yeah, I've seen control panel and I've seen control Windows settings,
yes.
but I haven't seen.
Yes, those are the
Windows
2.
settings is fine.
Yeah, but some things you're looking for aren't in settings; they're actually in control panel.
Great.
That one never made any sense to me.
The new Control-Alt-Delete upsets me. It's not what it used to be.
It gets the gist.
It's fine. It's fine. It just.
Oh my god.
I miss it. Man, Control-Alt-Delete, the little task manager, was such a staple of my early computing education. You felt so cool, the green and black little performance graphs. Oh,
although the new graphs are pretty great. If you really, do you go into Resource Monitor?
Yeah, Resource Monitor?
Yeah, that's like the aggressive version. No, because what you got to do the Control-Alt-Delete.
Resource Monitor. Oh, no, I haven't seen this. Oh, there's my green and black.
Yeah, oh yeah, they chart the shit out of stuff. And that's where you can really break down like the individual processes. We're talking power user stuff right now as our viewers just run away screaming at this point.
And Colby feels so left out.
Welcome to the Windows
I don't know.
Cast.
I can look at my iStat menus like that.
Yeah. I love iStat menus.
Food stat menus? Nice.
Anyways, that's my one Windows complaint so far. I turned everything else off. Cortana's off. The notification center's off.
Are you downloading a lot of Windows apps from the Windows App Store?
I downloaded Skype as a Windows app, and that is the only one I've downloaded so far.
Nice. I think they've got Solitaire, and it's free, so you should check.
They've got Minecraft for Windows 10.
They do. Yeah, you can check that out. Play that right, and that'll integrate with your Xbox that you don't have, and you can share achievements.
Oh, and they
across
have
devices.
movies on here too.
Yeah, although not music anymore. It's not in the rundown. They shut down their music service.
It is still in here.
Groove, yeah, it'll eventually go away.
Read the Groove Music FAQ, and it has a Spotify logo on it.
Yes, because they're trying to transition you over there. I really want us to finish this Google hardware.
Okay, sorry.
Pixelbook starts at $1,000. It's got a bunch of RAM and storage and processor stuff. It's very nice, but it does run. It's a Chromebook, so be aware. That's what that is. And Google Daydream, they just updated their VR headset. They really didn't add anything new. They tweaked the size of it a little bit, and it's actually more expensive. They actually upped the price to $100. It used to be $80. But it is compatible with the Pixel 2, the Galaxy S8 and Note 8, and the LG V30 for virtual reality. And I do want to mention tote bag winner Zachary Frisk posted in the Facebook chat an article about the Google Pixel always knowing what song it is and how they do that. They say it detects ambient songs playing around you, then leverages the Pixel's 2 onboard machine learning capability to compare that sound structure to a database of more than 10,000 popular tracks and figure it out. Best of all, it's stored locally, so it requires zero interaction with Google servers.
Aha!
Very cool. We might just sell Dan on an Android phone by the time we're done.
I know. I'll have done a complete technology 360.
This is the Android challenge, Dan. Now's the time.
I took it once.
Remember that? That thing was cool. That Motorola you had, that thing was slick.
I feel like it was all the things that phone did, like the newest iPhone does, or like the iPhone 7.
Well, wasn't like one of the
3 years later?
Wasn't like one of the big features like you picked it up and the screen turned on automatically, like
which the iPhone does now.
I know it was.
And it also has the passive. It had the passive listening stuff like way before it had.
That's right. That was one of the first phones that did
the coprocessor thing.
Yeah.
It used for sensor stuff and used the regular processor for other stuff. It was cool.
I think it was slick.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well,
Thanks
that does
for the
it
info.
for the Google. We only have time for one more story, sadly. So
And it's got to be AIM.
We're aiming straight for this story. Sad news. Sad. We always talk about things ending on this show. I feel like that's a staple of don't.
Definitely.
What old technology will cease to exist this week? AOL Instant Messenger. AOL announced this week that the long-running Instant Messenger service will shut down once and for all on December 15th. Michael Albers, Communications Product VP, said, quote, AIM tapped into new digital technologies and ignited a cultural shift, but the way in which we communicate with each other has profoundly changed. AIM was one of the first and most successful instant messengers, blah, blah, blah. Other classic chat apps have shut down in recent years, too. MSN Messenger shut down in 2014. Yahoo Messenger shut down last year. Yeah, there you go.
Yahoo Messenger.
Were you guys big AOL Instant Messenger fans? Big aimers?
For a
I
couple
always
of years
thought that
before text messages.
Yeah, I always thought that MSN Messages was better, but I was on AIM, and I am in retrospect.
All my
a
friends
fan of
used AIM. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Have we talked about the profile, the AIM profile, as the first social network on this show?
I don't know if we talked about it, but I think that's true.
I agree. Yeah.
Oh, totally. They were so far ahead of the game that a lot of people didn't even realize it until I think the MySpace age was behind us, and we were like, oh, actually all that crazy stuff that was on MySpace was already on the AIM profiles and totally customizable, and I'm pretty sure you could put HTML in them, or maybe it had its own markup language.
I remember cool. Changing the colors and stuff. I don't think I ever got into the codes.
Yeah, I don't know if there was code. But yeah, I'll be sad to see AIM go. Not that I have used it in the last couple of years, but even in college, we were still using it at desktop. Do you remember, Colby?
No.
Yeah, if you wanted to talk to the people, the IT people in the other building, we used AIM for that.
Oh, I don't think I ever talked to them.
Yeah,
remotely,
it wasn't.
Anyways.
Yeah, it wasn't very common.
I'm kind of surprised it wasn't like a mainframe app.
Well, no, because this was a grassroots effort led by people actually doing work, not a top.
I see.
Yeah, it wasn't an official use at all. Anyways, I'll be sad to see it go, but I do think it's a lesson in. So there's some like real product lessons to take away here, some real business lessons. Imagine if AIM had come out with MySpace, where they're like, here's a new version of it. It's all in the browser. You can like add friends, and there are all these other like interaction modes. Like, yeah, there's still like instant message, and it works exactly as it did before. But now you can like leave messages on people's profiles, and like you do photos. It would have been crazy.
Yep.
But
I would love to read the Sean. I'm sure you're going to tell me this book exists. The tell-all business book on early AOL.
There was a great. I'd have to look up the name. There was a great book I read, but it was really more focused on the AOL Time Warner merger and that sort of time in their business when they were going from like internet company to more mainstream company and all the bad stuff that happened around that. That was an interesting read. I actually would like to read a book more about the early days of AOL. I think it'd be interesting. But you do bring up a good point, Dan, that, I just wonder, I mean, obviously we saw what happened with MySpace, and I wonder if AIM wasn't AOL's primary business. It wasn't even probably in their top 10 businesses. And I just wonder if it ever could, even if they had put the resources behind, hey, we're going to build this out as a more social enterprise, I just wonder if it ever could have succeeded. Or if it really had to be outside of AOL to really be...
Well, I mean, that's the point, is could AOL have come up with, these ideas for how to take it to the next level? But there was really no concept of what we now see everywhere, like this sort of advertising back then. Whereas, now if you were a company and you had a product with a bunch of users that weren't paying anything, but you got a bunch of their personal data, you know exactly how to monetize that.
This might be a dumb question. Did AIM keep like history? Like once you logged out, could you come back and see what you had said before?
I don't know. I think you could, but it was stored locally.
Oh, so it was sort of ephemeral in a way. Interesting.
I don't remember.
I have a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
I never really used AIM.
What?
Yeah.
How did you like talk to your friends in high school?
Texting.
Or middle school.
Texting.
Maybe it's what I mean. I guess it was like
using AIM
grade.
No, I remember using AIM well into like 2007.
But for some reason, I was always, because another confession, I never had a MySpace page. So I was always a little, I was behind the technology curve for a while there in my younger days.
Interesting.
It wasn't I didn't get a Facebook until well into high school, which was, I think, even late for Facebook.
Did I? No.
I got a Facebook pretty soon after it was available to high schools.
Yeah, but that wasn't until
like 2000.
After I had started. Yeah, I think it was after freshman year.
And I was very reluctant. I did not want a Facebook page. I was really pushed into that. They're like, well, everyone's on it, but no, I never did. I never did the other one, so I don't really know how they worked. Because I thought they were stupid.
I'm sure it was that it would keep. I'm sure it wouldn't keep any of your history, because that'd be complicated.
I think you're right. I think it did. I want to say it kept it locally in just text files.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But see, like they did it all wrong from the beginning. They can't make endless ad money off people if they don't record everything you say, right?
Well, that's why they introduced structured profiles as the. It's all obvious in retrospect, right? Like this is a pointless exercise.
Go back and tell them.
But as soon as they had said, you could make a network, like an addressable network of people on the internet, then you would get some of that data by default, because of course you want to have a name field so people can search by name, or maybe an employer or the high school you went to or things like that. Like, it's totally reasonable they could have come up with Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had, it would have really taken off, I think.
Dan, I think that's a great idea. I think you should go make that.
Yeah.
I think there's
Re-implement
some
the
money in
EM
that
protocol.
idea.
Like, hey, everyone, check out this great new app. It works exactly like the AOL app, so it's worse than, everything else that's out here currently. But it stores all of your conversations in plain text on your computer. How cool is that?
We just built an app.
What do you mean? What's a mobile app? No. You can't get plain text access to your conversations on a mobile app. I do remember one of the first iPod Touch apps I downloaded was the AOL Instant Messenger app.
AOL had some good early apps.
Yeah, I was using it well. I was using it towards the end of high school, what that must have been.
Cool.
Good times. So long, AIM. We forgot you existed. All right. That is it for time. Like an elephant, Dan never forgot. We have to move on because we got to get to picks, the part of the show where we talk about things we recommend to people that they go do those said things. And because I'm the only one I see with a pick in the sheet, so I'm going to go first, and then I'll let you two get to the bottom of that one. Mine's a quick pick. Mad Men. Did you guys ever watch Mad Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's good stuff. And what's funny, talking about going back in time, it's funny how I watched Mad Men the first time was I learned about it like 2 seasons in, but this was like 05 or 06, 07 right in there. There was no Netflix. There was no on-demand. There was no way to go back and rewatch the episodes. So the first, I think, 2 or 3 seasons I watched via Netflix DVD in the mail, which is a hard way to watch a show because there are big gaps between when you're watching them. And then eventually I finished it on streaming. But that show is very deep and has a lot of stuff that I find hard to follow because I just don't watch it that closely. So I picked up a book by a TV critic I'm a big fan of. The book is Mad Men Carousel. And it's essentially I brought my copy. It's heavy and thick. There you go. You can look at that. It's a very nice, very beautiful book. And it is a collection. So the author is a TV critic, and he wrote recaps of every episode as they aired over the years. And so they went back and they compounded them into a big, very nicely designed book with nice images and timelines and footnotes and references and just like a companion book to every episode. And so now I'm going through and rewatching it and reading it, and there's like, I've watched like the first 5 episodes. There's already so much stuff. I'm like, oh man, I totally didn't get that. Or like, oh, that's why they said that. Or like, oh, that's, there was one where it's like, oh, the creator of the show used like his actual parents' item in this scene. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. It's a really good book, Mad Men Carousel. If you haven't watched Mad Men, go watch it. But I also recommend getting the book and doing the reading along with it because you'll learn a lot more, especially if you're rewatching it. And I'm excited because another TV critic I really like is coming out with a Breaking Bad companion book in the same style, and I'll probably do that next. So cool. That'll be fun. Mad Men Carousel, the link will be on the website, and Mad Men, all 7 seasons are streaming now on Netflix, so you can check that out. All right, Colby, you got some home box office for us to enjoy.
Indeed. Talking of Mad Men reminded me of a show I've been started watching recently called The Deuce on HBO. It reminded me of Mad Men, not in that it's about ad people, but it is sort of like a period piece in the way that Mad Men is. I think it's set in like the 70s in New York City, and it's about like prostitutes and like sort of like grimy crime people. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's depressing, but it's not uplifting. It's it's serious.
It just is. It's serious. Got it.
It's just like about their lives. It's like funny sometimes, like funny in a serious way. I think like lots of the characters are really interesting. It's like 4 episodes in. There's also famous people in it, like Maggie Gyllenhaal is in it, and James Franco. is in it. And I feel like they're both pretty good. I don't think I'm a very discerning TV watcher. I feel like I can't tell you who is a good actor or not, but it seems like they're doing a good job to me. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, check it out.
Cool. The Deuce, now available on HBO. It's easy if you already got the subscription. You just go watch it. Sweet. All right, Dan, you got a book for us here? What do you got?
A book. A friend of the show, Sarah from the movie draft fame, recommended to me a while ago the book called Flushed, How the Plumbers Saved Civilization. And it's sort of you could in one sense describe it as a history of plumbing, but it's written much more interestingly than that. It's written almost like a frame story where on the outside the author is trying to solve plumbing problems in his modern day house. But then he uses that as a vehicle for explaining why certain things exist or how this used to work back in Roman times or in Victorian England. And there's some really fascinating stuff. It turns out plumbing in Victorian England was not great. Plumbing was better in Rome in a lot of ways than it was then. Let's just say windows were used for a very different purpose in Victorian England. But that was really good. Second pick, if you're looking to go see a movie, I saw Blade Runner. It is in fact good. You should definitely see the first one before you go see this one. I feel like it really adds a lot. Have you seen Blade Runner, Sean?
You know, I have not, and I was really close to watching it this weekend, and instead watched Mad Men again. So, not a great decision, but I would like to see it actually. Now that everyone's getting all excited about the new one.
Yeah, it's a beautiful movie. It's just a lot of fun.
I do like beautiful movies.
Yeah, like just from like the promo shots with like the giant holographic woman like staring at the guy, like, oh, it's so good.
Cool. We'll have to check that out. Flushed, as well as Blade Runner. We'll have the links to all those on the website as well for you folks. But that's going to just about, I think, do it for us this week because we're out of time. But you can get more Don't Panic goodness on our website, don'tpanic.io. It's a nice website. You can check it out. It's got the video.
Sure. You can start over watching our podcast from the
beginning. It. You know, people probably don't get the complicated plot and backstory of this show. Go back to episode 1 and get caught up now.
Yeah, you're going to miss out on the inside jokes.
I was going to say, do we have any inside jokes?
No. I feel confident in saying no.
I don't feel confident in that.
If you can figure one, maybe this will be our inside joke is that we don't have inside jokes.
I'll think about it and I'll get back to you.
Please, I would love to see like a top 5 list of Don't Panic inside jokes. I don't have the memory for it, so you'll have to let us know. But listeners, go to don'tpanic.io. Listen to all the episodes. Tell us if you find our inside jokes. Maybe you'll find them funny. You can get the episodes there, picks as well, and of course, information on where to subscribe on all the major platforms, including Apple Podcasts and Overcast, et cetera, et cetera. Video version on YouTube at youtube.com/don'tpanicshow in HD. You're going to want to check that out. And of course, we do the show live Monday nights, as I mentioned, after 10 p.m. Eastern on our Facebook page at facebook.com/don'tpanicshow. And you can follow us on Twitter at don'tpanicshow or email us don'tpanicshow@gmail.com. That's going to do it for us here. So hopefully we'll see you next time. On behalf of Colby and Dan, this is Sean. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time for more Don't Panic.